Good day, viewer. Thanks for joining me on this time out with Marcus Ikore. Shortly today, I want us to talk about still on the causes of YAHOO. I want us to look at it from the dimension of government, as a cause. Yeah, the other time we talked about parental, contributions. Government, one of the sole responsibility of a government of every nation is to protect lives and property of the citizenry and to also create enabling environment for prosperity for the citizenry. You see, one significant thing that happened a few years ago, that's last year to be precise. There's a Nigerian abroad in the United States of America, and the wife who decided, they took a decision to bring their child back to Nigeria just because the child was behaving funny, was getting, bad kind of, socialization and character from the system. So they felt that they should bring the boy back to Nigeria to come and finish his secondary school before they take him back to America. Do you know that before long, the American government summoned the parents of the boy? They wanted to know the whereabouts of the boy. And the parents told them that the boy is in secondary school back here in Agbo, in one prominent school, one very good school in Agbo, in Delta State. The United States government sent an envoy from their embassy to come and trace this little boy because the boy is a citizen, a small boy at that. Now, came to trace the boy. They traced him to the school, and one good afternoon, they stormed the school with their entourage, requested from the boy, interviewed the boy to know, to be very sure that the boy is doing well, and the boy told them he's fine and all that. They spoke to the teachers of the boy, and the lesson objective I learned from that experience was that a little boy, whom the government would have simply said, okay, as a little child, it's of no significance to us. They came all the way from the United States to come and check to be sure that the boy is safe here. Will Nigerian government do that? So the government has to be responsive and responsible to the citizenry. What is the government doing to create enabling environment? Now let's take our minds back shortly to the time of shortly, before the independence and shortly after independence. You see, the youths of yesterday, I call them youths of yesterday, they had good environment, for success. They had a lot of provisions for government. Government actually labored for them, suffered for them, gave them free education. Now, we heard from source that, when they go to school, they have opportunity to good meal, 3 meals daily. They ate fat chicken, they had good modern amenities and all that. Society, government provided everything for them. But what happened? After they climbed the ladder, they destroyed the ladder so that the youths of today will not be able to climb. Now, the youth of today are suffering so much. They become victims of circumstances, bad circumstances created by the visionlessness of our leadership in this country today. What am I talking about? In their time, when you graduate, you leave the shores of the university, there's job waiting for you. Now, I recall one prominent politician in Delta State telling me, some years back that they had what they call good office, as in labor house, as at that time. When you leave the university, you go there, submit your CV, and in 2 weeks, you'll be called to resume a particular job opportunity. Employment is waiting for you, and they even give them cars. Some of them with good grades, they give them official cars to start with. Now, imagine that. So many of them, there was no visa barrier. They kept traveling all over, traveling abroad. And many of the youths of that time, if you go into it, you find out that they had Western exposure. And it is part of the Western exposure that even people like Antonio Naro, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, and all these people had, that even gave them the sense and the wisdom to fight for independence because they got exposure to Western civilization. And they wanted to replicate same in Nigeria. Hence, they commenced struggle for independence. But what are we seeing today? The whole system has been messed up. The youth of today, is not that youth who suffer, whose parents will suffer so much to train them to the university. They graduate, there's no hope of job opportunity. So they become victims of circumstances. That even those who go to university, there's no hope that they're going to get a job at the end of the day. Now, this syndrome, this pathetic and sorry state is pushing many of these youths into these different forms of survival, the quest for survival, of which YAHOO is part of it. So government is part of the cause or causes of this syndrome. And to solve this problem, government has so much role to play. And government has to be more responsible and responsive to the people. Government has to create job opportunities for the people. Government has to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive, for the private sector to thrive. It's so pathetic today that Nigerian economy is a public sector economy, is a government-driven economy, which is dangerous for any nation. All over the world, if you look at best economies that are thriving and all that, you find out that they are thriving on the wheels of private sector. It's only in Nigeria you find rich individuals who are even richer, politicians richer than the government. It's terrible. That's not done in other parts of the world, civilized crimes. So until we change this system, this mindset, because there's also a wrong institutional framework that this attitude of government is creating. You see politicians flaunting wealth up and down, buying private jets, doing all sorts of things. Politicians that don't even have thriving businesses. What institutional framework are you setting for the young generation? Now they are going to copy you. You see affluence. Look at somebody like Dino Milai displaying affluence sports cars all over the social media and all that. What lesson are you passing to the youth? It's terrible. So these whole happenings have a way of contributing to this scourge of Yahoo. And until we find a way of moderating all these excesses of our politicians, and until our politicians decide to do the needful by being responsible and responsible, by putting in place what they should put in place, by being responsive to their citizens, and putting the happiness, the success of their citizens as priority, then many of all these social problems will continue to thrive. I think we want to put a stop to it here today. Thank you very much, viewer, for hanging on to me on this edition. Keep flying and stay at the top. See your friend, Marcos Sekure. Bye for now.